All right, good afternoon, guys. Thank you for coming here. Hope you're excited to learn something new. I promise one of you guys are going to be walking away with a beautiful Les Paul guitar. But for now, let me go ahead and start off the session, right? The agenda over here is I'm going to showcase a solution that we provide at CA, an umbrella solution focusing on three specific tiers: your end user tier, application tier, and your infrastructure tier. I'm going to walk through how can we identify a root cause issue in this complex setup. So if you can see the screen, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the first tier, which is App Experience Analytics. That focuses on the end user experience. On the screen, let me go ahead and resize that. So on the screen, there are a couple of things going on, right? What I'm monitoring is two mobile-based applications, e-commerce-based applications, very simple. Add stuff to your cart, check out, and it gets delivered to you. As you can see, one of these applications has a crash over here, and that's not good, right? It could either mean loss in revenue, customers leaving for our competitor, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and drill down into the crashes. Click on that. And as you can see, the solution filters out, provides me with a couple of key metrics. One of the most important ones I'm going to go ahead and look at is this geographical layout of my customers and where are these crash impacting them, right? I'm going to go and drill down into this crash, try to figure out what is impacting this solution, the application, and then break it down into three tiers. So let me go ahead and figure out what's going on, right? Let me click the crashes. I'm provided with a quick breakdown on the devices, platform, network provider. As you can see, it's affecting Apple devices across Verizon and a couple of different telecoms, right? I'm going to go ahead and drill down onto one of these sessions and further figure out what's going on really. As you can see, a customer called B. Whitmarsh, he tried to log into the application 2 times, crashed on both occasions. Let's see what's going on. Let me click on his session. And you can see it provides me with his location, as well as a feedback that B. Whitmarsh has provided us with. Let me go ahead and see what really this feedback is talking about, right? I click on the feedback, and as you can see, it says, hey, the application crashed when I tried to log in to complete my order. So I can already create a story in my head. This guy, B. Whitmarsh, was going through the cart, added a few items, hit checkout, but he wasn't signed in. So he goes to sign in, and bam, the app kicked him out. So he left a feedback for us. Awesome. Let me go ahead and see what else can I find out about this one particular session, right? I click the session and I'm provided with a couple of more key details. One thing I want to focus on over here is the session playback. So you ever have those times where customers call the support and say, hey, your application crashed, and you ask them what really is going on, they have no clue. Well, this provides you with an ideal way to figure out what really happened during the time they were leveraging your solution, right? It records all the taps, where they tapped on the screen, and as they navigated through your application. And as you can see, B. Whitmarsh hit login, and bam, that's it. Application does not respond anymore. So it essentially gives me a good understanding of what the user was actually doing when they were leveraging your application. All right. Let me go out and show you a couple of more things, right? We're able to break down the couple of different events that were going on as B. Whitmarsh was using this application. Now, I know the application crashed, so let me go ahead into the transactions and see where it crashed. As you can see over here, it says it crashed on account sign-on, which we already figured out. Let me click on account sign-on and see the events that were going on. So I'll pause here for a moment and take a step back. In the market, when we talk about end-user experience solutions, what tends to happen is most people offer you just about this step, right? They're going to tell you, hey, your users are unable to log on, and bam, that's it. Good luck figuring out what the issue is. Well, with DXI, CA enables you to take it further. Like I said, I was first focusing on the end-user tier. Now I'm going to be focusing on the next tier, which is the application tier. All I got to do is I have to just click this simple button, which is a very simple integration that we have within our system, right? I click that, and it should open up our CA's application performance management tool. It's going to provide me with a trace stack, basically a breakdown of what was going on during that session. And if you look closely, the account sign-on transaction trace took about 200 milliseconds. And in those 200 milliseconds, there are a bunch of things going on, right? You can see different components, different calls being made into backend systems. Well, if you look on the right side, if you notice closely, out of the 200 milliseconds, this one single component took about 184 seconds. That's around 95% of that. It's a good identifier where I need to figure out what my root cause was all about. Now, if I scroll further down, and this is where developers love it the most, right? Let me go ahead and zoom in. If you notice over here, it provides me with a class level and a method level details as to what really happened when B. Whitmarsh tried to sign on. He signed on, the application crashed, awesome. We were able to drill down into the application tier, and provide you with code level details, which your developers will love, right? With a few simple clicks, we were able to provide that information. Well, let me take a step back again. Now the developers come to me and say that, hey, my code is perfect. It might be the infrastructure guys. They're not providing me enough resources from that aspect. Well, no problem. Let's go ahead and figure that out, right? Let's see if that's really the case. Well, within application performance management, we're able to pull in a couple of different things from the infrastructure side of the house, right? The infrastructure tier. What you see on the screen real quick is the application map topology. It lays out the different components of your application and how they are related to one another, how they communicate to one another. So I'll go ahead and quickly switch over to the infrastructure layer. And this map essentially is just showing me the underlying infrastructure that is supporting my application. Right? As you can see, there are a couple of red dots, which means my developer might have been correct all along. He's saying that there wasn't enough resources on my infrastructure. Well, let me go ahead and click on one of these infrastructure components and see really what's going on, as there's a bunch of red things going on over there, right? I click on it, and let's see a bunch of different metrics that we're pulling in. As you can see, everything is stable. Nothing is jagged. The lines seem to be performing well. Well, that's giving a good indicator that nothing is wrong on the infrastructure side. However, if you notice, there are still red marks over there. Well, let me go ahead and figure out really what's going on, right, from the infrastructure tier. Let me go ahead and open that component of DXI platform. And it should provide me with a couple of key insights that I'm able to make quick decisions based out of, right? As you can see over here, well, I'm looking at CPU usage. CPU usage is just under 2%. In a real world scenario, 2% is nothing. However, we still notice that there's an alert going on. It's a good indicator that one of my admins must have accidentally set a very, very low threshold, probably 1%, right? Let me go ahead and see what really is happening there. I'll click on the alert, and it should give me a message. All right, sure enough. If you guys can see that, what it's actually saying over here, that throw out an alert anytime the CPU usage is over 1%. Well, that doesn't make sense in a real world scenario, right? That must have been an accidental threshold setup. So now if I go back, take a step back, I can take this information to my developer and say, hey, everything is good on the infrastructure side. Everything is good on the end user side. It is your code that I pointed out with the class level and the method level details. And what I want to sink in here is we're providing this all under one single umbrella called CA's DXI platform. And that's it. That's for demos. If you have any questions, feel free to stop by. And Umair, I know you have something to say.